Just a quick introduction on myself. Hey, my name is Kevin Weber. I'm the Director of Trading in Brivity. I just love the opportunity to be able to share the experiences that we have with Brivity and share some of the tools that we're going to be using in today's business. I've been helping real estate agents understand their brand awareness for a long time, and Brivity really takes it to the next level. So I'm really excited about us diving into this subject of print media. So excited to have you guys here. Let's talk about print media. The first question you may be asking yourself when you came on this call was print media. I mean, isn't print media dying? Is print media dead? And that's a common question that we often ask ourselves, especially in real estate. You know, we're always trying to find the best, most efficient way of communicating to our Mets, to our have-not Mets, right? The people that are in our world, even our neighbors, our friends. We want to tell everybody about what's going on in our world, what listings we have currently, what listings are selling, about our business, open houses, just general reminders, those things that keep us in touch, those things that keep us engaged. And we have found that print will give us a really high response rate, like 3.7% response rate, as opposed to a 1% response rate, or even less. And we're talking about your online presence, right? There's a lot of ways of us to promote ourselves online. We know electronically we have a lot of opportunities to show our brand, to show our name, to show our expertise. However, we have found also that gives you about a 1% return rate. It's still pretty good. We have to be consistent about it. But print is permanent. Online is momentarily, right? We know that when an average person gets an idea or gets a message, it usually lasts about 8 seconds. So we have to be very consistent about the messaging. A permanent message is something that they will see over and over and over again. I bet if you all go to the side of your refrigerator and you're among all of the children art and those other things that you have pinned up there or magnetically sealed in there, you're going to find some marketing pieces. You're going to find your lawn specialist. You're going to find an exterminator. You're going to find real estate agents. I've known real estate agents that have gone to listing appointments, and just the series of their magnets has covered the side of a refrigerator because of the consistent marketing and things that they're doing. I'd love to know. Well, and thank you all, by the way, Albert in San Antonio and Sam in Portland and Tanya in Ashburn. Thank you all for being so active on the chat. I really appreciate that. I'd love to know, what kind of print are you all currently using? Tell us a little bit about the types of print materials that you're using. But those are the physical print pieces are highly, very permanent, and they're going to constantly be viewed and consumed. And of course, it's tangible. Like these are pieces people can touch. What you can touch, you can better remember. Again, if we're comparing it to an electronic experience, it's completely different. You flip the card over, you see the pretty colors, the text, even the font. So I don't know if any of you have grown up with millennials, but fonts are like this big deal, even bigger deal than they ever were when I was growing up. So even the font itself can tell a lot about what's happening. So remember, print is far from dead. It's going to bring us a ton of ROI, and we don't really have to ask that question any longer. My friend Tanya Gardier McLeod from North Atlanta, Georgia, in Roswell, says that she sends a magazine to her top 50, and then she mails monthly postcards to her past clients and her past sphere. Tanya, let us know, are you a Brivity user currently? I'd love to know about that, because we can certainly get you moving in that direction. Cool. Good to know that. So, Tanya, I'm going to be referring to you a little bit here when we're talking about some of the postcard options that you might be thinking of. So again, we want to use print because it's highly flexible. right? When I say flexible, the opportunity for us to do multiple calls to action in print is phenomenal, especially today, because there's a lot of things that are now now supporting that print to other device opportunities. If you think about having a card that has a URL on it, for example, that's going to take you from the print world into the electronic world. If we have a piece of print that has now a QR code, and by the way, no, QR codes didn't die. Boy, those things found a way to hang on. I thought for sure they were on their way out. A lot of stuff we were teaching in the past was that not really using QR codes, but it's really made a comeback. And what a powerful little icon, right? Again, taking you from print to an electronic application. So print has a lot more flexible options. Call me, contact me, do these things in print so they've visually seen it. It also allows us to support our online presence. Just as I mentioned, if we are taking someone from our print material to our online material, I'm hoping that your print material branding is matching your online material branding. Your fonts are the same. Your icons are consistent. It shows your team. It shows the colors. It shows the fonts. It's all consistent. That consistent experience is what's going to continue to stick in their mind. We know that it takes about 20 times for someone to consume a piece of marketing to truly believe in it so much that they will always go towards it or purchase it when they have the opportunity. So that consistent experience is important. We can do that by enhancing our print using that flexibility. And of course, if we're working, when we're working with our sellers, they have expectations that we're going to use multi-channel marketing. Multi-channel marketing being print marketing, being postcards, being flyers, heck, sometimes even being door hangers, being social media posts, social media announcements, advertising, open houses, like all of that is expected from a seller. When we can come to a seller and say, I have all of these ways that I'm going to market your home, and all of these ways then have multi-channel marketing opportunities as well. It's really going to truly show you in your marketing expertise. We can't forget in this business. We simply can't forget in this business that we are in the marketing business. There is a lot to do with the way that we market our products. Unfortunately, some agents take that a little too seriously and literally and start to do the marketing themselves, as opposed to using the tools and the formatting and the fonts and the things that a designer knows are important. They spend time creating this and all of these different applications, paying for other applications. Some of you have become Canva experts, but that doesn't mean you're necessarily a marketing expert. So we have to spend that time that we're going to use in creating the content towards lead generating, so that we can continue to use the services and tools of the experts that can provide us the information and the details the way that they're supposed to be presented. All right, y'all, let me know if you have any questions so far on print dead, why still use print, kind of like the direction that we're headed for. We have an amazing tool here at Brevity. We call it Brevity Marketer. And Brevity Marketer allows us to create postcards. Brevity Marketer allows us to create social media posts, all kinds of print materials. And these print materials, these postcards, social media, a lot of this is completely customizable as well. So we're going to show you this tool in the live environment. So we'll be walking you through some of the things that you can do with Brevity Marketer. Let me pull up our Brevity Marketer account. Here I am at Brevity Marketer. As you all can see, I'm in a dashboard. And this dashboard is going to hold all of the tools that we can take advantage of in Brevity Marketer. What we're going to be concentrating on today, because I know some of you all are probably getting pretty excited about what you've seen already. What we're going to be concentrating on is the print media itself that's available. We have some additional sessions that we can talk to you about. If you want more information at the end of the call, I'll be sure to share how you can get more information about Brivity. In fact, I think, Kimberly, if you're on the call, you could send out everyone the call to action to get them more information. And I'll show it like I mentioned at the end of the call. But if you can, if you're interested in any of the other things you're seeing in here outside of the print media, please let me know. Okay. One of the very first things that you will see here when you're sitting in Brevity Marketer is automated postcards. We always want to stay in touch with our past clients, with the people that are currently in our database, those people that we're trying to cultivate and convert, some of those that we've had conversations with. And who doesn't want a reminder of a birthday card or some sort of special event that they may be celebrating? Everybody wants that. And of course, we want to make it a habit of connecting and communicating to those whose, for example, whose birthdays we have this week, whose anniversaries are coming up, their home anniversaries. All right. And then we're going to have some additional styles and types of campaigns coming out for the automated. Now, it's difficult to go through our database and find everybody who we may have put a birthday in our notes and so forth. What Brivity has done is we've made it a lot easier for you, not only to send the cards, but to be reminded or to know who the cards are going to send out to. But let me go into a current campaign that we just created. And in this campaign, you'll note this is a birthday campaign. And there's some different ways that you can name this campaign. You might even name it the type of card that we have in there. Actually, we have the ability to choose additional cards. So let me go back to automated postcards. Let's go ahead and create a brand new one. Let's do that. I'm going to create a brand new campaign, and I'm going to call this January Cake Card. This is a birthday card that we're creating. And then we can decide on the size of the card that we want to choose. And this is going to be a consistent process that we go through. There's a lot more pieces to it when we go into our just listed and just sold cards. But for now, let's create a card. Let's look at what size card we want. When we're choosing cards, you'll see the price of the cards listed right underneath the size. So now we know what we'll pay for each card. You may be asking the question, well, is that the postage? What does that include? That includes everything. That includes the printing, the sorting, the design, like all of this is included in that price for each card. We can also decide on what agent we want displayed on each card. And then I'm going to select a template. Now that I selected a template, what the system's going to do is it's going to show me, and I don't have anybody showing here, but it's going to show me everybody who is in my Brivity CRM that has a birthday set for that particular month. So now I can find out who do I have upcoming this month or in February or and so forth. Who do we have upcoming to send our cards to? It's going to give us a list of everybody that has a birthday listed in our Brivity account. So all we have to do is find the birthday and know their birthday, put it in our Brivity CRM. And when we come here, it will recognize that birthday, bring it in to the automated campaign section. And we can set this up on autopilot. So every time their birthday comes up, a card will be sent, hands off. you have just done your due diligence in making sure that that contact was recognized for their birthday. Question came in, does Brevity separate birthday from a home purchase anniversary and home sale anniversary? Oh, great question. Home purchase anniversary and home sale anniversary. Right now, I believe we just have home anniversary. So you might, I guess the date would all consider that. You might create two separate campaigns if you could. And then, but what would happen, I guess I don't have the answer to that question. I'm gonna have to think about that one. You stumped a chump on that one, Tanya. Great question. I have to get back to you on that. Maybe someone on our team knows the answer that they can give us. Does Brivity separate I know it separates a birthday, yes, from a home purchase anniversary. I don't know if we have the home purchase anniversary and the home sale anniversary in two separate campaigns. So we need to check and see. I do know that if we have that transaction listed for that contact, that would be the date that the automated campaign would fire off of for the home anniversary. That would definitely be the sale date for that. Okay, great. Now let's move on to some additional options we have in Brevity Marketer. So next we have our just listed postcards and just sold postcards. We're going to go through that same process. However, we're going to be given a lot more options on our postcard campaigns. Once again, we can determine the size that we want to use. We're going to stick with the 6x9. That is chosen by default. Then we can choose the type of design. These are fairly new. I love the dynamic places options that we have. So I'm going to choose one of those dynamic places. I'm going to choose this one. When I click on create, I'm given the opportunity now to put in the physical address or the MLS number. Now we don't have to worry about going in and finding the photos and downloading and uploading all of that. All of that's going to be taken care of just by us simply putting in that MLS number. So I found a listing. I think I put too many ones in that listing. Boom. That's how smart the system is. It's going to know that I was wrong. I now choose that listing. I'm going to create the postcard. That's the next step. Now that I'm creating the postcard, it's going to build it. Right now, it's pulling in the main photo, or as you can see on there, we have postcards where you can have multiple photos. Yes, the answer is yes. It is going to bring all of the photos in from the MLS, and it'll display the first 4 or so, however many are by default in that particular design. Okay. Before we dive into this amazing design opportunities in here and the things that we can do, let's first concentrate on this top line. We're going to look at recipients, size, cost, status. The first thing I want you to notice here is you can see the size of this card that we're currently choosing. And since we have that size and the price per size per card, you'll see a total cost listed here. So this is a very helpful to immediately know of this cost. This cost currently is being pulled from the 380 recipients that have automatically been chosen by the system as recipients. I'm going to explain that in full detail here in a moment. Right now, it's awaiting approval. That means that we haven't approved it and sent it. We certainly don't want to approve and send until we review our recipients and until we change this information. I don't know that this is going to be exact, right? So we'll want to go in, we'll want to make some adjustments to the text, but we'll look at all of that here in a little bit. We just don't want to approve it yet. What I'm going to look at is the recipients here. How do we get to this number of recipients? A few things I want to mention. I should have mentioned this a little bit ago. And while we're setting up Brevity Marketer, I wasn't going to take you all through the setup and the things that you have to do. We have some defaults already set up. We have several defaults that are built into the system. Most, if not all of the defaults can be changed We just put some limitations and some parameters in order. For example, our branding colors, our name, the maximum amount of recipients, the maximum amount of money that we want to spend. All of that is limited and adjustable. So if you'll look at this, I have this little alert icon, and it's telling me that in my settings, I'm going to set to a minimum of 150. If I get results under 150, I will be warned and told that I have too little per my request. And then it's going to tell me you told us not to send any more than 600, because we can kind of, we can expand that as much as we want. So it's going to save us. It's kind of, putting some parameters on us. So that's cool. I'm going to go into change, and I'm going to show you the different ways that the campaign can be sent to these different destinations. The very first one is what is by default, automatically. It automatically is done by an AI, and automatically is going into the area, and it's going to find homes that are most likely going to sell. It will not deliver a card that is, say, to a particular home. If it's let's say it's for sale, if it is if the home's if there's any limitation to that home being delivered, that card, for example, if it's a for sale or a listing or a for sale card, or even a listing card, if we're not trying to capture a buyer, we don't want it to go to someone that just bought their home a year ago, 2 years ago. You can set it up to a minimum of 5 years ago, maybe 7 years ago, that sweet spot of when people are most likely going to move. So we have a AI going through an algorithm and automatically choosing those. We'll show you who it decided to send to. We can even have it sent to that specific listing that is listed there. So the seller also gets a card. This is the number of destinations that it has chosen. This can also be changed to anything we want. The next way we can send is via a map search. When we go to map search, it's going to pinpoint where they live. This is the address of the campaign. This is a fairly populated area. If it wasn't, we'd make it super wide, but this is going to allow us to now map out exactly where we want these postcards to be delivered. Now that I've completed the area and I click search, I'm going to be able to see all of the houses. This is going to show me every house that can be delivered to in the results. If the results are way too wide, which they might be, because I may have chosen an area. Yeah, see, I got 1,000 destinations found. That's a little bit over my limit, obviously. That's over my budget. So what I can do here is I can say I only want to show it to single family. You could also send it to an apartment, duplex, because typically those are renters. Maybe not just listed, obviously, as sold. So I'm going to only send this to property types. I could do a search, or I could even say, and the sale date is older than, I'll say, 5 years ago, and I'm going to do a search. Once again, it's going to go through, it's going to pick out those destinations, and it's going to deliver me those results. So as it's delivering me those results, I can say, well, if I have too many, let me see, that's area's obviously way too big. So then I would limit it and so forth until you get the amount of destinations that you want, or you would just change your criteria. Another way we can do this is from a CSV file. You have a file of all of the contacts that might be interested in a home that is like this. That might be an example for you. Maybe you have a list of buyers who might be interested in this home. We want to send them maybe a postcard showing them that. You can create, you can pull it from your own CSV file. We have a template already created for you. So you'll just copy and paste each field into the template so that you can get it to those specific addresses. Can it pull from your Brevity contacts app? It can through a CSV file right now. No, but we will have that available in the very near future. Great question, Tanya. We'll have it available, but you could absolutely export it by doing a filter, finding that specific group, and then exporting them out. Or if you have a previous campaign, maybe you had another property in that area, that address worked really well for you. You just use the drop-down menu and you find that campaign, and it's going to send it to that same group of contacts that it sent it to previously in the previous campaign. All right, let me see if any questions came on. Do we set up the autopilot from within Marketer or from within the CRM? I'm not sure what you mean, Robin. Can you give me a little bit more details? Set up the autopilot. If you mean the sending the automated postcard, is that what you're asking? Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. Yes, you'd set it up from within Marketer. We create the birthday in Brivity, the CRM. That's where we add the birthday to the contact record. Once it's added to the contact record, then it'll carry. And by the way, not just the birthday, we need to make sure we have their physical home address as well. Okay, so if we have their home address and their birthday, then it will show them as a candidate, a perfect candidate to receive that birthday card. All right, let's continue now then looking at the just sold postcards. Same process. Every time we look at our just listed or just sold, we would have to then put in a sold MLS number in here of a property that we have sold, or we can put it 6501 Boyd's. Let's see if they'll still find it. It may be too late. Okay. So you would need to be sure you have the address or the MLS number to do a sold listing. Okay, now let's look at the actual, some of the meat of this, of the listing, of the cards itself. In the card, I'm telling you about some of the default options that are available in here. And obviously, as you can see, one of the default options, when I go to this edit option, I'm going to go to edit. It's going to bring up the card. One of the default options is going to be your brand, your color. This brand color has already been applied in the settings. So this is going to be default on every single one of my cards. You can also choose additional colors for a specific card. If you wanted to just change the brand colors for whatever reason, maybe it's a seasonal thing that you're doing, or just specifically because maybe the house is pink and you want to make your card pink, you could do that by changing the colors here. Or you could drag and drop by using the color chart. Again, we have the default at 6x9. In here, we can change the card size. You can change the agent who is displayed. If you're on a team, your team members have the ability to send out marketer cards on their behalf. We have the billing and who gets charged and all of that. We have that all worked out. So don't worry about that. We can talk about that later in the dirty details of the conversations. But you can have multiple team members listed here, and team members can send cards on their own. So Donna's saying, can the cards be customized with their own logos, custom colors, et cetera, for uniformity? Yeah, Donna. So when we are in Brevity Marketer originally, when we're setting up Brevity Marketer, each one of us has the ability to customize the colors and the content as a team. So the admin, the owner would set those defaults, and then every card, as we're in the card, could be changed if the agent needed to change it for any other reason. But if you are on a team, the team lead owner will set the defaults of what it should be, and then it's up to the team whether or not that's allowed to be changed. Okay, so this is where it starts to get kind of exciting, you guys. So I'm glad if some of you all are sitting down, just be aware. If you have a low ceiling, be aware, because you're going to jump up for excitement in the next few things I'm showing you. We have the ability also to change our call to action settings. The call to action that I'm specifically referring to is this one. Get the scoop on what your neighbor's home sold for. Obviously, this text and all of the other text that you can see here can be changed. You can change the text if you want. I'd recommend not changing it too much or moving it around. Again, we had experts, people who went to school for marketing and are very experienced at knowing what people need to see, where they need to see it. They've done a good job of designing these. I wouldn't recommend going in and changing stuff too much outside of what you have the ability to change for text and things you want people to see and say. So we could change this to say anything we want. What I have it defaulted to say is get the scoop on what your neighbor's home sold for. And then we have this URL listed right down here. This URL, even if it's changed here, it will not. We don't want to put in a full URL here. We want to leave just that URL alone, because what's going to happen is when this card is printed, that URL will actually be different. That URL will be different for every single card that goes out. Every single card will have its own unique URL. And the reason we want that card to have its own unique URL is that when somebody gets that physical card, remember we talked about this a little bit ago, and they say, oh, I am interested in what this home sold for. I'd like more information on that. They can put in this URL. We could have this URL go to anywhere that we want. Here's what we've done. We have them going to our home valuation page on our website. You all can have them go to any page that you want, obviously, if it's a call to action page, or even if it's just simply information. See, you could ideally, you could pull up this listing in Brivity as the sold listing. You could find that listing. Let's say that this one was the actual sold listing, because in Brivity you can capture sold data. We can present it where it's allowed. So we can pull up that sold listing and drive them to this URL right here. If we wanted to do that, we would do that here under change the customization of that URL. We would just paste that URL right there. If we wanted to customize that call to action URL, it'll still say Brent.it/123, no matter what we change this one down here to. Where I have it going is the home valuation page, because now they can find out the value of their home. Maybe that we would change that call to action to say, find out what your home might be worth in today's market. They could put that they would click on that link, they type in that link, and then it would bring them to this page. Another thing we've done is we have our branding, right? We have our website, and then within Brevity Marketer, they're seeing that same branding, maybe the same colors, the same styles. They see your picture. It's all consistent marketing. So great question. Robin says, hey, most of my target market's above 60 and may not know what the URL means. Any tech suggestions to explain and get them to properly use it? Say, yes, I would say enter this enter this into your computer, like literally give them exact directions to find out the value of your own home, enter this into your computer. And so that's an option there. The question came in, what about a QR code instead of a link or both? We are incorporating a QR code, so that will be available here very soon. And yes, you could put in a QR code because this tool also allows us to add additional photos, either photos that we have on our own, global photos. We've got a ton of pictures there already for you. Or if you upload that QR code, then it will be, you can then drag it and put it in anywhere on this page. So yes, QR code could absolutely be used, and we will be incorporating that here in the near future. Here's the exciting part is when they put in that URL, when they put in that URL and they get here, we now know, or whatever page they get to, regardless of where they get to, we know what address entered in that URL. So now within our Brivity CRM, we get an address only lead where we now know that they opened up that URL. That address only lead can continue to be marketed to with different information as we're marketing to that additional, as we're marketing to that address with all of our other types of cards. We are promoting our brand. We're bringing out brand recognition, and we are, again, incorporating both our print and our electronic solutions together. This is a good opportunity for us to explain to our sellers or potential sellers the way that our processes work, the way that we stay in communication to potential buyers. All right. Once the owner enters that link, will they be added to our CRM? We don't have a way of pulling the contact information from their home address currently, so it will just show as an address only lead. Okay, next we can look at our open house postcards. Open house postcards. It is, now that you all know the process, you can see the value of putting in those addresses of the home that you might be holding open, and you don't have to worry about creating all of the right things to say and putting them all in the right place. Yeah. So Tanya, that after they have gone through the process of of putting in their address and then saying find out more and completing their first name, last name, email address, and so forth. Yeah, they're gonna get we'll get all of that information from them if they go that far after going through the home valuation page and fulfilling all complete information. Then yes, when they come into our CRM, we will have that complete information. Okay, so as you all can see here, we have the open house, all prepared, ready to go. Find out more right here. What we could do is this URL, we could change into the actual page that this listing lives on. If they want to find out more information about this house, that we have an open house in our neighborhood, now they're going to be a curious neighbor. They're going to be a curious buyer. We're going to gain more information. Let me know if you all have any questions on our postcards, the way that we can choose the individuals. Oh, one more thing I didn't show you. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. I beg your pardon. One more thing I need to show you. When we are doing our when we are looking to see our recipients, we can actually get a bird's eye view on the recipients that are going to be chosen. So if I go into the recipients here, watch what happens. It's 380. As I scroll down, I can see exactly where we're sending. And you all can see not every house is being chosen. The algorithm is going to give us a list of where it feels the best homes to receive these cards are. Isn't that cool? I want to make sure you all saw that. How much lead time would we suggest for sending a postcard prior to an open house? Print and mail and postal time. So print time takes about 3 to 4 days. I think they may have shortened that a little bit, but postage is still taking a little while. So Aaron, or Kimberly, if you have a better time frame on that, I'm going to say about 7 days as far as that goes, making sure that we have print. So I'd give yourself a week, maybe 10 days before your open house. We have found when people are doing their just listed, the moment that they put it into the MLS, like right around that time, they're already getting their just listed cards built because the market does move so fast. Okay, next thing we have here is our listing flyers. We have some amazing print media listing flyers. The listing flyers, I think we now have double-sided flyers. Yes, we do. As you can see down here, we also have double-sided flyers. And once again, as we're going through the power of Brevity, being able to go to your MLS and pulling everything in, saving you all of that time of uploading and downloading and copying and making sure you have the right information is amazing. You could skip the import if you wanted to. If you wanted just to do it on your own, you could do that. However, if you have the information on that particular home, then just put in the MLS number. It's going to pull that data for us. And we create a print media. So literally 2 clicks, and I already have the flyer made. I can't tell you how many times and how long I've spent trying to get it just right. And we have it here now. Like we could put, like we said, put in the URL there. Let's get people to our pages. So we have listing flyers, open house flyers. If we're going to continue that process for the open house, inside of the open house, right, we can have the information about the house. How many times have that been a last minute realization? I don't have any flyers made. And you just go in and you can print yourself a few. And I wanted to show you all this one here. We're just about out of time, and I want to make sure that you all are open. We're open for you to ask any questions. I want to show you all the QR code open house tool that we have. We have this open house sign-in sheet that allows people to sign in to a form that we have created in Brevity. In Brevity, we have the ability to create these really cool open house forms for someone that is going to be visiting our open house. So I'm just going to create the date and the time. And I'm going to this is the form that they will fill out. So we don't want people to touch our devices any longer, right? I don't want someone taking my tablet or my laptop. I don't want to leave it out there for people to sign in. I want them to sign in from their own device. A lot of times I don't even have access to the internet. I've not good Wi-Fi. And so I'd really hate to try to count on this URL consistently staying live for me if I wanted people to sign up using this form. So what we could do is we can copy this URL right here, and we can go into Brevity Marketer, and I can paste that URL right there. Now, what I've done is I created the QR code page. This is really creating the QR code link, and then we apply that link and that graphic to a flyer. I can add additional listing data, such as the address and additional information if I have it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's a property that we've been using. Let's click on that. Let's create the print media. Even if we don't have that, we can always edit the page and make additional changes. So now I'm in the edit of this page, and I have the address already pulled up there. So that's kind of nice. That's a good little perk. We could also maybe even put in a picture of the home. If we required masks or foot booties, you could put pictures of those, even put descriptions of what that is. I recommend printing this bad boy on a photo paper, pinning that to the front door, and making sure that they scan that when they enter the open house. By the way, this QR code tied to this form, after they fill out this form, obviously they hit our Brevity CRM with some specific tags so we know they came from that open house, etc. So this is one of my favorite pieces. I mean, I've shown you some incredible tools that are going to support your print marketing opportunities. And this is actually one of the simplest, but probably my favorite, because it is so powerful and it does keep us fairly safe when people are entering our open houses, and it ensures that people are registering. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys quickly to my presentation so that I can tell you guys how you can get more information from us. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, last thing, by the way, we can print for you, or you can print it on your own. If you have a big print job, you're going to do a bunch of flyers and you don't want to knock out your own printer, then you can send it to a printer. Okay, a couple questions came in, and I'm going to go ahead and bring this up. If you all are interested in finding out more about the Brivity platform, this is a small section, a small piece, a tiny component of the Brevity CRM, and I'm super excited that I had the opportunity to show you all this amazing tool. We have a ton of training available for this for those of you that are Brivity users. If you are interested in finding out more about the Brivity platform and this amazing print media tool, please let us know. You can do this a couple of ways. You can text the word platform to 59559. That is a text service that we have available. Again, that's another tool you have available with Brivity. In fact, you could incorporate this as one of your calls to action, or instead, we could say, if you want more information on this house, text your keyword to 59559. We can deliver them to any form, just like we're doing here. So this is another example of an amazing tool set that you have with Brivity. So take advantage of that. If you all have any questions, did this help? Was this worth 50 minutes of your time today? And I want to thank you all for spending your 50 minutes with us. We certainly appreciate it. A couple questions are coming in while you all are jotting down how to get in touch with us. Someone's asking more information about the open house link. Rudy, I'm assuming you are a Brivity user. If you are, then here's what I'm going to do, Rudy. I'm going to send you a link, and I'll just share this to everyone, but I'm going to send you a link that will explain the /open house so that you can use this tool in the near future. At any time you want, you'll have access to this. Once you get this process down a couple times, you won't forget it. So I'm sharing this with you right now in the chat. At Randy, would that help you out, Randy? Here we go. That went to everybody, Tanya and Randy. You guys just grab that link right there. That'll tell you all about the open house tool. Again, that's part of the Brivity platform. Tanya is asking, does Brivity sync with Google? We sync with your Google Gmail account. So we will be able to find any emails that you have corresponded with contacts that you have in Brivity, and to pull those emails into the contacts timeline. So that is one way that we have Brivity connected. And no, we don't sync with Google contacts at this time. Tanya, great question. What are the questions you all have? Is there an option to resize and create and download a print ad for newspaper? Our area still loves the local paper. Great question. I would say it's most likely not in our default tools. So if your question is, do we have a print material that is newspaper, maybe, let me see if I have any of those. No, I mean, we have graphics already done for you, right? Some social media graphics that have been prepared already that you could use right away. Whether or not that is print ready for a newspaper, I just simply wouldn't know. So I can't say yes to that. Like I could bring up this price reduction, for example, and then download this to a PNG or a PDF. But again, I don't know if that would be the same format. The question might be like, what format does it download in? And the answer to that is PDF and PNG. So if it's accepting anything other than that, then I suppose the answer would be no. The PDF will work, then yes, Amber, you can create any one of these flyers then. Absolutely use any one of these flyers or even the ready-made social media graphics to create that for sure. Nice question. Now I learned something new too. Check that out. All right, I'm going to take you all back to that call to action page. What are the questions you all have before I let you go? You've been a great audience, by the way. Thank you all very much for sticking around and hanging out with me today. It was a lot of fun. All right. Thank you, Tanya, Amber, Kay, Kimberly, Keisha, Kurt, Landon, Madeline, Jody, Jennifer, Aaron, Amber, Alex, Albert, and everyone else who has left the building. Hey, we want to thank you all very much for being a part of today's presentation. I look forward to hearing from you. Let us know how we can help you in your real estate business with Brevity, the only system that guarantees success in real estate. Hey, thanks again, everyone. Talk to you soon.